Within the Xuanling royal palace, a dimly lit door slowly opened, revealing a few shadowy figures. Among them was none other than Solomon's leader, who had once participated in the super sect selection. Solomon was known for its low profile within the mystic three heavens, rarely causing any disturbances. The disciples of Solomon were similarly discreet, but this did nothing to diminish its prestige. After all, to be one of the 9 super sects in a place as vast and competitive as the mystic three heavens required a solid foundation. The group quietly entered a room, and Wanzi, after carefully scanning for any suspicious presence, gently closed the door behind them. Just as the door clicked shut, a faint spatial ripple slipped into the room, settling silently in one corner. "How are things progressing?" Wanzi asked. In the dimly lit room, a voice responded from the shadows. "According to our investigation, the Medusa Clan has recently welcomed a new member with the bloodline of the 9-colored heaven-swallowing python. Since her arrival, the 9 tribes that once opposed each other within the Medusa Clan have all submitted to her rule. Only 3 tribes remain defiant, but the bloodline of the 9-colored heaven-swallowing python exerts such overwhelming suppression over deviants in the clan that those 3 tribes were quickly subdued," explained the 12th sect master of Solomon. "Oh," Wanzi replied calmly. Even though he was aiding the Xuanling King, it seemed the Xuanling King had kept certain things hidden from him. "And what is the strength of this 9-colored heaven-swallowing python?" Wanzi asked, his tone measured. "Her strength is quite average. At most, she's around the level of a 5-star Do D." "But," the 12th sect master hesitated. "But what?" Wanzi pressed, adopting a more humble tone. Although he represented the Xuanling royal family, he knew their alliance with Solomon was valuable, and with 2 mysterious figures cloaked in black standing beside the 12th sect master, Wanzi could sense an immense power from them, enough to make him cautious. As Wanzi was aware, Solomon had 12 sect masters, each one immensely powerful. The 12th sect master before him was at the 7-star Do D level, and the strength of the others was only greater. Our experts have found that after the 9-colored heaven-swallowing python's last appearance, she hasn't been seen again. It's as if she entered the forbidden grounds of the Medusa Clan, the 12th sect master explained. "Is that so?" Wanzi couldn't help but grin. "If she's not with the Medusa Clan, it will make our campaign much easier. And my king's target is precisely this 9-colored heaven-swallowing python." Wanzi continued, his smile widening. "If she has entered the forbidden grounds, it will be the perfect time for us to act." "True, but don't forget, the forbidden grounds of the Medusa Clan are peculiar. Even our first sect master hasn't been able to fully explore its secrets," warned the 12th sect master. "Only the royal families of the 9 tribes are permitted to enter, and the inheritance within is extremely dangerous. You should proceed with caution," he added. "I understand," Wanzi said, surprised by the revelation. If even Solomon's first sect master couldn't probe the depths of the forbidden grounds, then no one in the mystic 3 heavens could know its true contents. "By the way, may I know the names of these 2 individuals?" Wanzi asked, bowing slightly toward the mysterious figures beside the 12th sect master. "There's no need for you to know," came the curt response. "Just tell the Xuanling King that our plans have been accelerated. The Medusa Clan's forbidden grounds are unpredictable. He should send out the army sooner rather than later." With that, the 12th sect master donned his black cloak, and the 3 of them vanished from the room. "The power of those 2, it's not inferior to the 12th sect master," Wanzi murmured, staring at the space where they had stood. Could they be? His thoughts wandered, considering the visitors from the Incense Valley. Wanzi had his suspicions. He left the dark room and made his way deeper into the Xuanling royal palace. Meanwhile, in the now empty room, a spatial ripple dissipated, vanishing without a trace. It seems the Xuanling royal family and Solomon are planning something big. In another room, Elder Zhu opened his eyes and muttered softly, "My king." Wanzi approached the Xuanling King and whispered, "Solomon's people came. They advised us to send out the army soon, or it will be too late if the 9-colored heaven-swallowing python acquires the Medusa Clan's inheritance." "Heh, those devils," the Xuanling King chuckled. but their efficiency is commendable. Send word to gather the remaining members of the Dragon-Slaying Legion, and spread the message that the Xuanling royal family will march against the Medusa Clan. The Xuanling King commanded, his eyes gleaming with ambition as he gazed into the distance. By the way, my king? Wenzi hesitated for a moment. Besides Solomon's 12th sect master, 2 other terrifying figures accompanied him. The Xuanling King laughed. It seems Solomon is even more eager than I am. But even I have to show some respect to Zhu Jin, he added thoughtfully. I still don't understand why Solomon wants to rule all of the mystic 3 heavens. There are so many sections. Do they really think they can handle it alone? He mused aloud. Such grand ambitions. Nevertheless, once I obtain the blood of the 9-colored heaven-swallowing python, no matter whether it's sacred flame, the mystic 3 heavens, or even Solomon, everything will be mine. A terrifying laugh echoed through the room. No matter what, my king, my life is yours. Whatever you decide, I will support you without question. Wenzi thought silently, bowing deeply before retreating. Time passed, and Xiao Yan and his companions had spent quite a while in the Xuanling Imperial Pool. While one day outside equated to 10 days within the pool, they had already been inside for quite some time. Gurgle, gurgle. In the heart of the Xuanling Imperial Pool, a slender figure slowly emerged from the waters. It was Xiao Yan. At this moment, Xiao Yan was surrounded by a milky white flame, slowly soaking in a small pond. The pond itself was quite peculiar. Though small in size, it seemed perfectly suited for Xiao Yan, as if it had been tailor-made for him. The golden liquid surrounding Xiao Yan in the pond gradually enveloped him, and the intense heat from the milky white flame caused the golden water to radiate a scorching temperature. This golden energy in the Xuanling Imperial Pool is truly mysterious, Xiao Yan thought, sensing how the energy was continuously strengthening both his soul C and Do Qi C. The next moment, he began to circulate the flame mantra technique. As he soaked in the golden liquid of the Xuanling Imperial Pool, the golden energy from all around flowed toward him, slowly merging into his body. Just as the golden energy was about to dissipate, Xiao Yan opened his mouth, and a terrifying surge of power drew the remaining energy into his core. Xiao Yan had deliberately chosen not to immediately absorb the life force his master, the Golden Dragon King, had given him. Instead, he aimed to use the abundant life force to push himself to the perfect 4-star Do D stage. Having already reached mid-4-star Do D, his acquisition of the immortal body had not directly elevated his strength, but Xiao Yan could sense he was on the verge of breaking through to the peak of the mid-4-star Do D level. The life force in front of him was so powerful that it could tempt even Do Xian level experts, making it the perfect tool for breaking through to the perfect 4-star Do D stage. Thus, Xiao Yan immediately began soaking in the golden liquid of the Xuanling Imperial Pool. The pond, located outside the fragmented space, had appeared after the life source stone was removed from the area. The pond collapsed, releasing a surge of water filled with powerful energy. The water must be connected to the central core of the Xuanling Imperial Pool. Soaking here will be incredibly beneficial, Xiao Yan thought to himself. Without hesitation, Xiao Yan immersed himself in the pond to enjoy the full extent of the Xuanling Imperial Pool's benefits. As soon as he entered the water, a cool sensation washed over his body, followed by a remarkable recovery of his depleted Do Qi. It wasn't Xiao Yan himself restoring his energy, it was the mysterious effects of the Xuanling Imperial Pool at work. This place is truly extraordinary, Xiao Yan said, as the seashell hanging from his chest emitted a brilliant light. At the same time, he felt a surge of force rise from beneath his feet. It must be connected to the water throughout the Xuanling Imperial Pool, which explains the incredible power. Xiao Yan muttered, finally allowing himself to relax and fully immerse in the experience. I wonder if the Xuanling Imperial Pool really possesses the legendary effects it's said to have. With that thought, Xiao Yan closed his eyes, and peace returned to the area. Strangely, the longer Xiao Yan soaked in the golden liquid of the Xuanling Imperial Pool, the more golden energy separated from the water and slowly infused into his body. Although Xiao Yan wasn't entirely sure what this golden energy was, he knew that it resembled the stepping stone to reaching 6-star Do D. He couldn't waste this chance, He absorbed as much as he could. Meanwhile, outside the core area, where Xiao Yan had been secluded, the mysterious island seemed to be enveloped by an invisible barrier, cutting it off from the outside world. Even though Mu Yingying found the island, she was unable to enter. After some thought, she gave up trying to force her way in. Instead, she released her powerful energy, disrobed, and gently slipped into the golden waters of the Xuanling Imperial Pool. Her jade-white body perfectly blended with the golden liquid of the pool. Tiny threads of golden energy began to gather from all directions and slowly flowed into Mu Yingying's body. It's time. After 10 days of soaking in the pool, Mu Yingying's eyes snapped open, and she murmured to herself. She carefully retrieved the Do-Di pill and opened the bottle with a delicate motion. The pill, adorned with intricate patterns, appeared in her palm. This time, I'll rely on you, she whispered. She swallowed the Do-Di pill and continued to absorb the mysterious golden energy from the pool. With the combined power of the Do-Di pill and the pool's energy, breaking through to the 5-star Do-Di level was now only a matter of time. As for Xiao Yan, 3 months had passed since he had begun soaking in the golden liquid. Although only 10 days had passed outside the Xuanling Imperial Pool, the time for them to leave was approaching, with only 10 days remaining. This Xuanling Imperial Pool is truly a treasure, Xiao Yan remarked, clearly impressed. After 3 months of absorbing the pool's power, Xiao Yan's soul sea had taken on a more defined shape, and the space within his body that stored Do-Chi seemed to have been refined. He was now on the verge of reaching the perfect 4-star Do-Di stage. It's time, Xiao Yan said with a smile. Knowing that he had absorbed as much of the pool's power as he could, he leapt out of the pond. Whether I reach the perfect 4-star Do-Di stage or not depends on this, he muttered. Xiao Yan then summoned the round object containing the dense life force, holding it in his hand. With a confident smile, Xiao Yan lifted his hand and unleashed a powerful suction force, drawing the life force into his body. Swish, swish. What an overwhelming power. As the life force entered Xiao Yan's body, a feeling of indescribable comfort spread through him. He immediately began channeling the flame mantra technique to refine the life force, trying to absorb the pure energy and harness its immense power for his breakthrough. This life force was so potent that even Do-Xian level experts would envy it. Xiao Yan knew he couldn't rush the process, so he carefully slowed down and continued refining the life force with the flame mantra, taking his time to fully absorb it. Nearly a month had passed since Xiao Yan and the others had entered the Xuanling Imperial Pool. Tomorrow, they would leave. Bang, bang, bang. Several loud explosions echoed through the Xuanling Imperial Pool, reverberating across the isolated island. Ha ha ha. I did it. A loud, triumphant laugh followed, and the voice belonged to none other than Xiao Yan. The energy from this life force is incredibly powerful. Even with just a small amount, I've successfully advanced to the perfect 4-star Do-Di stage. Xiao Yan nodded in satisfaction. The life force was so potent that even Do-Xian level experts would be drawn to it, so its effectiveness came as no surprise. Without hesitation, Xiao Yan activated the flame mantra within his body, and milky white flames instantly surged forth. The strength of these flames had greatly increased compared to before, when he had yet to absorb the golden liquid and life force from the Xuanling Imperial Pool. In fact, Xiao Yan could sense a mysterious power suspended within his soul sea, likely serving as the stepping stone to 6-star Do-Di. It's time to go, Xiao Yan said softly, glancing at the broken space nearby. He bowed respectfully before standing up. Retrieving the immortal sword and strapping the ancient ruler of heavenly flames to his back, he set off toward the exit of the forbidden area. Just as Xiao Yan left, a voice echoed around the fragmented space. Since Yu Xin chose you, I won't interfere further. Otherwise, obtaining the life source stone wouldn't have been so easy. I didn't expect someone as powerful as the Golden Dragon King to nearly fall. It seems the strength of the extraterritorial evil clan is truly... The voice trailed off, and a burst of light flashed before disappearing from the space entirely. Damn it! That old ghost abandoned me here, the enchantress muttered, raising her head as if noticing something. That fluctuation. Did that old ghost touch the peak of Do-Di? She whispered. suppressing her own aura in fear of attracting attention. After all, the presence she referred to had existed since the birth of the Xuanling Imperial Pool itself. Why do these clothes look familiar? Xiao Yan muttered as he arrived at the edge of the isolated island. He needed to rely on the spatial teleportation array located there to leave. Suddenly, his sharp senses detected something. He spread his perception wide and was met with the sight of a beautiful, jade-white body that seemed to merge with the golden waters of the Xuanling Imperial Pool. Such a beauty, like a perfect work of art, seemed to belong in a realm untouchable by mortal hands. Her flawless skin blended seamlessly with the golden pool, and her long, damp hair floated gently in the water, caressed by the waves. Mu Yingying, her eyes closed in meditation, had a small, blue flame flickering on her forehead. With each breath, a pure energy surged through her. Mu Yingying? Xiao Yan called out in surprise, though he quickly regained his composure. Despite Mu Yingying's current state, completely exposed in the pool, Xiao Yan remained unmoved. He was not one to be swayed by desire. It seems she's trying to break through to the 5-star Do D level by leveraging the Xuanling Imperial Pool's energy. That's quite ambitious, Xiao Yan mused, observing Mu Yingying's intention with interest. Mu Yingying, her body submerged in the golden pool, appeared both serene and captivating. Yet, in the next moment, her Do Qi suddenly surged, and countless streams of energy began gathering toward her from all directions. What a clever woman, Xiao Yan murmured, impressed by her boldness. Attempting such a feat without ample courage could easily backfire. Though the Xuanling Imperial Pool was filled with mysterious energies, recklessly absorbing them could lead to disastrous consequences. Swish, swish. Mu Yingying's Do Qi grew increasingly concentrated, its intensity reaching the level of a 5-star Do D. Yet her absorption of energy didn't stop. This is... Xiao Yan's pupils contracted as he realized Mu Yingying's aim. She intended to break through to mid-5-star Do D in one fell swoop by drawing on the pool's power. Boom, boom, boom. More golden energy from the Xuanling Imperial Pool rushed toward Mu Yingying, while the blue flame on her forehead radiated an intense, scorching heat. Something's off about that flame, Xiao Yan murmured. Though the blue flame appeared powerful, as someone who possessed 23 types of heavenly flames, Xiao Yan could tell that something was missing. Swish, swish. Mu Yingying had already broken through to the initial stage of 5-star Do D, but there was still residual power from the Do D pill and the Xuanling Imperial Pool's energy. She pushed forward, determined to reach mid-5-star Do D. Crackle, crackle. Fine strands of golden energy continued converging on Mu Yingying, and her blue flame flickered joyfully in response to the overwhelming power. Suddenly, a ball of milky white energy formed on Mu Yingying's chest. From within that milky white energy, a terrifying force emerged. What is that? Xiao Yan muttered to himself. Using his powerful soul perception, he realized that it was the residual power of the Do D pill. Though Mu Yingying had absorbed a significant portion of the energy, there was still an immense amount left. No wonder she dared to attempt to break through to mid-5-star Do D. She's using the leftover power from the pill and the Xuanling Imperial Pool's energy, Xiao Yan said, impressed. Whatever pill that was, its grade must be incredibly high. Boom, boom, boom. The golden energy from the Xuanling Imperial Pool and the Do D pill's power continued to merge with Mu Yingying, and her aura rose dramatically. Xiao Yan remained nearby, acting as a silent protector, knowing that any disturbance at this point could lead to disastrous consequences. Crackle, crackle. The immense suction force emanating from Mu Yingying's body absorbed the remaining energy from the Do D pill. Meanwhile, the golden energy in the pool began to diminish, its potency weakened by Mu Yingying's relentless absorption. Sensing the change, Mu Yingying furrowed her brows slightly. The blue flame on her forehead dimmed, its energy clearly taxed. It seems she's pushing herself too far. Xiao Yan shook his head, noting that despite the massive influx of energy, Mu Yingying was still just short of mid-5-star Do D. Boom, boom, boom. Mu Yingying's Do Qi suddenly erupted, and the once calm waters of the Xuanling Imperial Pool began to tremble violently. Her Do Qi grew erratic, and her complexion paled. With his keen eyesight, Xiao Yan recognized this as a sign of a failed breakthrough. Failing to advance would result in severe injury at best, and damage to her cultivation foundation at worst. She's not giving up? Xiao Yan muttered. In that case, I'll give you a hand. He smiled, realizing Mu Yingying wouldn't stop until she broke through to mid-5-star Do D. Without hesitation, Xiao Yan activated the flame mantra at full power, and a tremendous surge of milky white Do Qi radiated from his body. In the next moment, Xiao Yan's Do Qi flowed toward Mu Yingying, pouring into her body and supporting her. However, Xiao Yan quickly noticed something strange. Despite the overwhelming power of his flames, which were a fusion of 23 types of heavenly flames, they seemed to be afraid of something within Mu Yingying's body. This had never happened before. His flames, newly formed and incredibly potent, had never shown fear, until now. This left Xiao Yan both puzzled and frustrated. Xiao Yan could vaguely sense that the milky white flame in his body was fearful of the blue flame that surrounded Mu Yingying. However, now wasn't the time to dwell on it. He continued to channel his vast Do Qi into Mu Yingying, knowing that helping her break through was the priority. As his energy flowed into her, Mu Yingying's condition visibly improved. The pallor that had overtaken her face due to the chaotic energies subsided, and her complexion returned to normal. With the continuous infusion of Xiao Yan's Do Qi, the blue flames covering her body stabilized. The combination of her blue flame as the dominant force and Xiao Yan's milky white flame as support allowed her to absorb Xiao Yan's power and gradually transform it into her own. Boom, boom, boom. Tremendous energy ripples radiated from the sea surrounding Mu Yingying as waves of terrifying power surged forth. Swish. Minute by minute, Mu Yingying absorbed the energy, and soon, her strength reached the mid-5-star Do D level. Slowly, she opened her eyes. As she did, the first thing she saw was Xiao Yan standing with his back to her, his massive ruler strapped to his back. Xiao Yan? Mu Yingying called out in surprise. It became clear to her that attempting to break through to mid-5-star Do D using only the residual power of the Do D pill and the Xuanling Imperial Pool's energy had been too ambitious. She had nearly failed. But just when she was on the verge of collapse, a pure and powerful flame energy had flowed into her, stabilizing her and allowing her to break through smoothly. That flame was clearly very compatible with her own, helping her complete her advancement with ease. There were only 3 people in the Xuanling Imperial Pool, herself, Xiao Yan, and Mu Feng. Since Mu Feng's power wasn't flame-based, there was only one possibility. Xiao Yan had intervened. Seeing that it was indeed Xiao Yan who had helped her, Mu Yingying breathed a sigh of relief. Unbeknownst to even herself, she had come to rely on Xiao Yan to some extent, especially after he had slain the twin ghost emperors. Did you succeed? Xiao Yan noticed that Mu Yingying had opened her eyes and immediately asked. Mu Yingying responded softly, nodding at Xiao Yan. Well, since you've succeeded, Xiao Yan smiled. It's time to go. He turned and started toward the teleportation array at the edge of the island. Wait a moment. Mu Yingying called out suddenly, still submerged in the golden waters. Huh. Xiao Yan stopped, puzzled. He wasn't sure what Mu Yingying needed, but he knew that today was their last day in the Xuanling Imperial Pool. If they didn't leave soon, they'd likely be expelled by the pool itself. Could you hand me my clothes? Mu Yingying's face turned bright red as she awkwardly requested Xiao Yan's help. Her clothes were placed near where Xiao Yan was standing, but with her still submerged in the golden waters, it was inconvenient for her to retrieve them. Fortunately, the golden water hid most of her body, leaving only her forehead exposed, but she still couldn't move freely. Xiao Yan scratched his head awkwardly. Spotting her clothes next to him, he quickly channeled his Do Qi to gather them up and gently floated them over to Mu Yingying in the water. Mu Yingying nodded gratefully, raising her delicate hand. A blue flame barrier appeared in the water, separating her from Xiao Yan's view. She then retrieved her clothes from within the Do Qi bubble Xiao Yan had sent. Swish, swish. The sounds from within the blue flame barrier made it clear to Xiao Yan that Mu Yingying was dressing, so he patiently waited without turning around. All right, I'm done, came Mu Yingying's bell-like voice from within the blue barrier. The flame shield then slowly dissipated, revealing her fully dressed figure. She lightly tapped her toes on the water's surface and made her way to the island to stand beside Xiao Yan. "Just now, thank you," Mu Yingying said softly, her lips curving slightly as she spoke. "It's no big deal. It's only right for fellow disciples to help each other," Xiao Yan replied with a smile. "But you shouldn't try something like that again." Xiao Yan's tone turned serious as he continued. "Forcing a breakthrough like that, if you fail, the consequences could be severe. It would affect your future cultivation in ways you can't imagine." Xiao Yan's stern words showed how concerned he had been for her. Without his help, Mu Yingying would have faced serious repercussions for her reckless attempt. I know. Why so harsh?" Mu Yingying pouted playfully, her voice softening in response to Xiao Yan's concern.